Hello, Chris Godinez, licensed professional counselor, also the host of We Need to Talk on every Sunday at noon Pacific and 3 p.m. Eastern. This video is for educational and informational purposes only. The views and opinions stated herein are mine and mine alone. They do not represent the ACA, the APA, or any other damn therapist for that matter. Boom, shakalaka, done. And I would like to thank my sponsor, BetterHelp, BETTER, help with a P, BetterHelp.com/Chris Godinez. They are an international online counseling company, so you can be literally anywhere in the world, like literally anywhere. And it's great because I'm hearing from people going, thank God, I finally got in to see a counselor. Thank you so much. This is really helping me. This is awesome. So great, guys. Go get counseling. Go get counseling. BetterHelp, www.betterhelp.com/Chris Godinez. John will put that down in the description. Like I said, they're an online international company. You can be anywhere in the world that allows, internet. Don't get me started. But anyway, yeah, the point being is they're everywhere and they're online. And if you are in the States and you are living in a small town and you don't like the therapist that's in your area, get on to www.betterhelp.com/Chris Godinez, and it will take you to, it will take you to another counselor in your state. They are all licensed and they are all master's levels or above. So I've been getting really good feedback saying that, yes, this is a good company and they're really having a lot of good results with it. So awesome. Go get help. BetterHelp.com/Chris Godinez. Okay. Whoo, jump back. So much to talk about. All right, first of all, let me get out all of this stuff. My books are available on chrisgodinez.com. I will autograph them for you. I will put a little saying in there for you. That's chrisgodinez.com. You can also get them on Amazon. I also do an Audible. I read my own books because I don't like a lot of actors that read books. So anyway, there's also Susanna Quintana, SusannaQuintana.com. Get her book. You're Still That Girl. She is amazeballs. I love this woman. So, and actually we've been talking. She's having a hard time finding the vaccine. So as soon as she gets vaccinated, she and I have already started talking, okay, we need to get going again with doing seminars and meet and greets and things like that. So I will be getting my second vaccine on April 12th. 2 weeks from that, I will be supposedly immune. So I'm going to start looking at touring again. So thank you, Jesus. Anyway, I'm so happy. I'm just like, can't wait to get on the road again. Anyway, so yeah, Susanna and I are talking about that. And as soon as she gets vaccinated, we're going to start planning stuff. So yay, team. Also, Shahida Arabi. Love this woman. Love. Sight of Love, Extra Helping of Love. This is a great book. The Highly Sensitive Person's Guide to Dealing with Toxic People. Get it, do it. She's got journal suggestions in here, which I love because it's like if you're, and we're going to talk about this, CPTSD, and you're suffering from, dissociation and gaslighting and the fog and all of that fun stuff. And when I say fun, I mean the polar opposite. It helps to have little prompts about, okay, think about writing about this. Hey, think about writing about that. So great book. Love Shahida. She's awesome. When I get to New York, I am so wanting to go have coffee with her. Great book, Splitting, if you're going through a divorce. Splitting by Bill Eddy and Randy Krieger. Randy Krieger is the author of Stop Walking on Eggshells. Awesome sauce. Love this book. If you're going through a divorce, you need to be reading this. Okay, let us now dive into After You Leave. Oh my goodness, when you leave, holy cow, there is so much going on. So one of the things that people are the most disturbed about when they leave thank you. When they leave an abusive relationship is they come out of the relationship and there's so much happening. There's the memory loss is one of the huge ones. So actually that was something I had a couple of questions on this week. It's like, holy cow, I'm starting to journal and I'm starting to do this and I can remember some parts, but I can't remember others. What the heck is going on? Am I losing my mind? No, you are not losing your mind. This is a part of PTSD. This is a part of CPTSD. The C in CPTSD just means complex, meaning it happened over and 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 over. Usually PTSD is dealing with like a one-time event, although I don't know how war could be a one-time event. I mean, that's kind of like an ongoing one-time event. But so like an accident, being robbed, witnessing a robbery, witnessing something that's life-threatening, seeing a life-threatening accident. Those are all causes of PTSD. Complex post-traumatic stress disorder is when it happens to you and or you're watching it happen to somebody else and it's ongoing. It's daily. It's like the abuse or the life-threatening event is constantly changing and it's daily, right? Because that's what abuse is. So a lot of people have been writing me going, oh my God, I can't remember. I can't remember. I mean, there's entire periods that are just completely blanked out. Or, I had lunch with my best friend's spouse and I don't remember having had that lunch. That is because of the post-traumatic stress disorder. It's because the incoming information is not matching cognitive dissonance, not matching what's going on. So let's say you had lunch with this friend and they're telling you, hey, I see all of these red flags, and then you just don't remember having that lunch. That's because it's not matching what you're experiencing at home because you don't want it to match, and the abuser is gaslighting you, which we are going to be talking about next week. I want to talk about gaslighting. I want to talk about pathological lying. I want to talk about all of that because that is what these mother cluckers do. So, jump back. All right, so let's talk about after you leave. So the memory loss is normal, guys. It's normal. It's in an abnormal situation. It's normal. We don't remember specifics about the abuse, especially if the abuse was really bad, very traumatic, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, I mean, we won't remember the whole thing. We'll remember bits and pieces, but we won't necessarily get good, clear details. And that's kind of normal. And the worse the abuse, the more trauma, the more memory gaps you're going to have. Why? Dissociation. Why? Because our brains couldn't cope. Because our brains were like, whoa, peace out, people. I'm not hanging around for this. And that's normal. That is normal. That is the way we deal with this. This is the way we survive the abuse, is to check out. It's just what we do. It's a defense mechanism, and it helps us live. It helps us survive. So in a way, you kind of have to thank it. It's kind of like, okay, thank you, brain, for checking out. I appreciate it. That's great. I would really love to remember. And here's the thing. You are not going to remember until you are safe and until you're ready, basically. So as you go through therapy, and this is what I think some people are not understanding. As you go through therapy, you're not going to immediately remember stuff, not even with EMDR. You've got to feel safe. You've got to feel your amygdala has to calm down, stand down in order to feel safe and to start remembering things. So, because otherwise you'll constantly be in that fight, flight, freeze, or fawn response, panic response. So as you start feeling safer, things will start coming back to you. And I don't think people necessarily are expecting that or prepared for it. So I'm telling you now, as you feel safer in therapy or in your journey, if you're doing it without a therapist, God bless you. Do it without a therapist if you have to. But as you feel safer, you are going to start remembering more things. And that inner child is going to freak right the bleep out and be like, oh my God, no, 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 no. But what you have to remind yourself is, okay, little one, it's okay. We're safe. We're safe. We are safe. I got your back. It's okay. These people are never going to hurt us again. This is just a memory. Nothing more. It's okay. So you're going to have to really comfort that inner child. You're going to have to really work with that inner child, whatever age you were that you're working on, that you're getting blocked, that you can't remember. You just got to comfort, and let them know they're safe and go at your own pace. It's like, it drives me crazy when I see people going, well, get with the program. You need to be done now. I'm sorry. If somebody's been abused since age 0, they're not going to be done in 6 months or even a year. Depending on the severity of the abuse, depending on the person's constitution, depending on what else is going on with them. So patience, and that is something that abusers absolutely do not teach us. They do not teach us how to have patience with ourselves. And we really need to have that. We really need to have that because we got to be gentle. We got to be gentle, guys. We got to be so gentle. I want everyone out there to speak to themselves the way you would a small child, with kindness, with patience, with love, with encouragement. You got this. We're safe. We got this. We're okay. It's going to be all right. Positive, positive, positive. Do you see where I'm going with that? So it's going to take time. It's going to take time. Rome was not built in a day. Undoing all of this abuse and then replacing it with healthy behaviors or even remembering stuff is not going to happen overnight. It's just not. So not remembering is a part of post-traumatic stress disorder. It is. We just don't remember key aspects of the abuse or of the trauma because our brains are just like overwhelmed and just literally kind of go bleep, blah, shut down, because it's function overload. Reset, that's kind of what we do. So there is that. The other thing that happens to us when we come out of an abusive relationship. And everybody thinks I'm always talking about romantic. No, I'm not. I'm talking about any abusive relationship. Why? Because these people all behave the same damn way, like there's some sort of universal how to be a complete douchebag book. Seriously. So, they all act the same way. They all follow the same script. They all say the exact same things, no matter where they are in the world, no matter who they are, male, female, doesn't matter. They all follow the same exact trajectory. It's just, sometimes I look at it and I go, what the? Yeah, it's just amazing to me. So they all follow the same thing, whether it's an abusive boss, an abusive friend, an abusive romantic relationship, an abusive parent, an abusive child. They all do the exact same type of manipulation, control, gaslighting, fog, fear, obligation, guilt. They all do the same thing, and they all pretty much follow the exact same script. Like somebody wrote it out for them, like hit your mark and say this line, which is kind of scary. So anyway, there is that. So, all right, when we come out of an abusive relationship, the number one thing that these douchebags do is that they take away our sense of self. They take away our certainty. Certainty. Like kids, I love watching kids. Kids are awesome because they'll go out on the playground and they're just certain. They're just certain. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go jump rope. I'm going to go hang off the monkey bars. I'm going to go swing. And there's no questioning. There is no second guessing. There is no doubt. There is no, am I right to do this? There is no, hesitation. They just go do. They're just in the moment. In the moment, in the moment. That's why I love kids before adults get a chance to mess them up. Oh my God. Anyway, the point being is they have certainty. What happens with an abuser is the abuser starts pulling the rug out from underneath us and takes away our certainty so that we no longer trust our gut. So we come out of an abusive relationship, whether that's in a corporation, in a romantic relationship, in a friendship, in a whatever, and we start going, who, what, when, where, how, why, what just happened? Wait, if I had done this differently, would this have been different? If I had said this differently, would this have been? No, it wouldn't have been. I got a email from somebody recently that was like, but there's got to be hope. No, there is not, guys. When I was talking about the dark triads, which are usually the ones who are stalkers and stuff, this goes for all narcissistic types. Okay, this means the quiet ones, the victim ones. Poor me, you never write, you never call, martyr, 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 always the victim. It's always happening to them. This goes for the communal ones, which are like the gurus, which you got to watch out for. And this goes for the overt ones, which are the ones that are like, look at me, look at me, look at me, tell me how fabulous I am. They do not change, period. And if somebody, and then this is what got me. But they've apologized, but they don't mean the apology, and they keep doing it over again, but they're not manipulative. Okay, stop right there. If they apologize and they keep apologizing and they keep doing it over again, they are manipulative. That is the very definition of manipulative, is to be doing something while saying you're not doing it, which is, hello, gaslighting. Whew, God, these guys are so sneaky. They are just, ooh. Next lifetime, I'm coming back to a planet with no narcissists. Meet me there. Okay, so anyway, the point being is that, okay, when we come out of an abusive relationship, we have got so much going on in our heads because it's literally like these abusers have taken an egg beater and just stuck it in our head and went, okay, and just messed everything up. So when we come out, we've got all sorts of self-doubt. We've got all sorts of PTSD, CPTSD. We've got memory loss. We've got, horrible longing to get back to the love bombing. So it's that intermittent positive rewards. We've got trauma bonding going on. There is just so much that is going on with us. So when we leave the relationship, we question ourselves because that's what healthy, normal people do. You always kind of go, what could I have done differently? What, should I have said something? Should I have done something? Maybe we should have gone to counseling. Maybe, this is why I'm not, bagging on the person who sent that, because it's a natural inclination to go, well, but can it be fixed? Well, in a healthy, normal relationship, yes. With somebody who's an abuser, no. Because there's no there. It's all ego. They're too invested in their shit. So we come out going, what could I have done differently? What did I say? What did I do? How did this end up this way? Why did this happen? Oh my God, I miss those times when the abuser was kind. Trauma bonding, intermittent positive rewards. And we start focusing on those positive times, and that is what sinks us every single damn time. This is why the Hoovers work. It's because we keep hoping, we live in hope that they're going to change, or that they're going to get better, or that they're going to, and so when they do contact us, we have that, oh, they got it. Oh my gosh, they had a V8 moment. Oh my God, I could have had a V8. I understand now. Oh, good, they get it. No, they don't. No, with a side of no and an extra helping of, oh my goodness, no, they don't get it. All they're doing is they're looking for supply. They've either not been able to make another supply happen, that supply ran out, or they really enjoy just tormenting you, which is part of their sadistic little game. So this is what happens to us when we come out of this. We've got cognitive dissonance going on. We don't want to believe that this was an abusive relationship in a lot of instances. And that's usually when the person is kind of thinking about leaving. That's when they're kind of like on that edge of, well, I know I should leave, but I really don't want to, but I know I should leave, but I really don't want to. And that is totally normal, guys. This is like the levels of consciousness, remember? So unconscious incompetence, you're running around hitting walls, not understanding that there's walls there because you don't even see them. Then there's conscious incompetence. Oh, now you see the walls, you're still hitting them, but you see the walls. Okay, great. Then there is conscious competence, meaning, I see the walls. I know why the walls are there. I'm going to sidestep those. I need to be mindful and really pay attention to walking around these walls. Then there is unconscious competence, meaning you perceive the walls. You don't even need to think about it. You just sidestep it, right? So that's mindfulness. That's practicing being in the moment, staying present, working on all of this trauma, and getting to that point of conscious competence or unconscious competence where you don't even have to think about it. So we have all of this stuff going on. We have the fog going on. We have cognitive dissonance going on. We have this longing, this desire to reconnect with that love bombing because they were mirroring us back to us. And that's why it felt like it was a soulmate, or they're perfect. It's like, oh my God, they're so perfect. Oh my God, they like the same things I do. Oh my God, Prince, Hans and Anna from Frozen. That's the perfect example. Disney does so many good examples of, psychological things. So, so there is that. So let's talk a little bit about CPTSD and why things are happening, because I think people, excuse me, hold on, water. Oh, these, by the way, are for sale on my website, $24.99, chrisgodinez.com. Please get them out of my hallway. All right. Okay. People don't realize that the symptoms of PTSD, the symptoms of CPTSD are to be expected when we have come out of an abusive relationship. There is nothing wrong with you. Let me just say that again. There is nothing wrong with you. This is what happens to anyone who is facing a life-threatening, emotionally life-threatening, physically life-threatening, sexually life-threatening, whatever event or events. Complex CPTSD. Okay. Good Lord, I need my glasses. Hang on just a second. Oh, things are falling off of my desk because my desk is not big enough. Okay, hang on. Let's move these books before they fall. There we go. Okay. All right. Directly experiencing traumatic events. Yes, we directly experience the traumatic events when they are in the devalue and discard phase. So I'm going to relate this back to all of the phrases that you already know. Devalue and discard. That is a traumatic event. You go from on a pedestal, can do no wrong, are loved, supposedly, you think it's love, to can do no right. You're horrible. You're this, you're that. You're just like my ex. You're just like my this. You're just like my that. You're wrong. You can't do this. You're stupid. You're ugly. You're blah, 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 whatever their BS is, they're, that is what they are doing. But because they have done the love bombing, we believe them because we think that they love us. They do not. These monsters do not love. They do not experience love in the way that we do. They are not empathic. People who are empathic would never devalue and discard someone, would never tear them down, would never mine for information and then go for the jugular. That's what these people do. And I use the term people loosely. So, all right, so there is that. Okay, hang on. Okay. Witnessing in person the events as it occurs to others. So you're watching your siblings getting abused. You're watching your mother or your father get abused. You're watching coworkers get abused. You see friends getting abused. Yeah, that's traumatic. Those are all traumas. Absolutely. And I think part of the thing of it is in our society, first of all, we've stigmatized mental health issues like nobody's business, which 90% of the problems that you see in the news could be remedied if we had an actual mental health system. Don't get me started. But two, it's like we minimize things. Oh, it wasn't that bad. Or we have people tell us, oh, it wasn't that bad. Flying monkeys, hello. So, we have people going, oh, well, it wasn't, oh, well, they're a great guy. Oh, they're a great girl. Well, they're always nice to me. Have you seen what happens behind closed doors? Hello. So there's a whole bunch of weirdness in our society around any sort of mental health issue. And society minimizes. I talked about people dying the other day and how people are like, oh, you just lost your child to a horrific car accident. Well, you should be back at work in a week. I'm sorry. What? Have you actually had children? Oh my God, you have? Please stop procreating. You're a terrible parent. You know what I'm saying? It's like they don't understand grieving. They don't understand the grieving process. So there's this minimization going on. Oh, wasn't that bad? Oh, it's not. Oh, come on. Suck it up, buttercup. Wasn't that bad? Blah, blah. No, it was that bad. Perception is everything, people. Just because it wasn't bad to somebody else doesn't mean that it's not bad to you. Okay? Perception is literally everything. And I am sick to death of idiots that have no concept about psychology sitting here going, oh, well, you're over exaggerating. You're too sensitive. Who does that sound familiar? Oh, you're this. Oh, you're that. That's what abusers do. They don't like emotions. They don't like strong emotions. And they certainly don't like trauma being pointed out. And they certainly don't like people actually working on their trauma. Why? Because now they cannot be abused. Sorry, need to get off of that and get back to the topic. Sorry. So there's my minimizing. Don't minimize. Do not minimize. You know what you know. You know what you know. You know what you went through. Don't you dare minimize it. Perception is everything. It is real. Abso-freaking-lutely. Don't get me started. Too late. Okay. Learning that the traumatic events occurred to a close family member or a close friend. In the case of actual or threatened death of a family member, friend, the events must have been violent or accidental, which is always an abuse. So I just read an article today on CNN about a woman who disappeared in, I think it was Brooklyn. And she was like 15 or 16 years old. She'd gone off with the boyfriend. The boyfriend allowed the family to come and visit for a small amount of time. And then all of a sudden, no contact, moved without a trace. Family couldn't find her, did find the boyfriend. The boyfriend said, oh, she doesn't want to talk to you. You're abusive. You're this, you're that. Well, he was talking about himself. He murdered her and he put her into 3 different suitcases. So if it happens to a family friend, a friend or a family member or, a coworker, yes, that is trauma because we are all connected and we all feel and we all know what that must feel like to be being abused. Unless, of course, you're the abuser, in which case you don't because you don't have empathy. But the point I'm trying to make is that trauma can happen in so many different ways around domestic violence. So, okay. Oh, my goodness. All right. Experiencing repeated or extreme exposure to aversive details of the traumatic events. Okay, so like first responders, police officers, fire people, et cetera, et cetera. Presence of one or more of the following intrusive symptoms. So this is where people get freaked out about PTSD. Rumination. What is rumination? So if you're from the country like I am, it's cows chewing the cud. So when they chew the cud, they kind of barf back up what they're eating and they do that all damn day. So in other words, rumination is where you latch onto a thought and you just keep thinking about it and you just keep thinking about it and you just keep thinking about it and so that's kind of that part when we first leave and we keep going, well, what could I have done differently? How did this happen? How can I get back to the love bombing? How can I get back to, we don't call it love bombing. We're like, I want that person I loved. I miss that person I loved. Well, of course you did because they mirrored you back to you. Guess what? You're worthy of love. That's the only good news in this whole thing. Love yourself. Love yourself the way that this person love bombed you, but with truth and honesty and integrity. So, okay. So the rumination is really scary to people because it's like they feel like they can't let go. They can't let go. It's a hard time letting go. That's why the concept of letting go is so important, because you got to let go of these people, use that term loosely, in order to heal, because you got to evict them from your head. They will be the first thing on your mind in the morning, the last thing you think about at night, for at least for the first year, because you're grieving. It's a grieving process. Not only do you have PTSD, it's also the grieving process. So you're having to let go, let go, let go. Write and burn letters. Dear so-and-so, the good, the bad, the ugly, the horrific at the very, very end. Goodbye in no uncertain terms. Write it out, take it out to the barbecue, read it out loud once. It is your Declaration of Independence. Burn it, let it go. That kind of gives the act of letting things go. You've got to learn to let this person go. They are not who you think they are. Okay, dear Lord, where am I? Intrusive distressing. Okay. Intrusive, involuntary, distressing memories of the traumatic events. That's why I was saying that will sometimes happen. Sometimes you won't be able to remember it. Recurring distressing dreams. Okay. Now, this happens a lot. When you've left an abuser, you will have drug dreams, basically, is what they are. So, because remember, the intermittent positive rewards, the trauma bonding is addictive. We are addicted to when they were kind to us. So when they are gone, when we have left and we have booted them out of our lives, just like with a drug addict or an alcoholic, which it's all drugs. I don't know why we make the distinction. It should just be called Addicts Anonymous. Don't get me started. Anyway, the point being is that we were addicted to the intermittent positive rewards. We were addicted to when it was high. We were addicted to when they were good to us, when they were kind, when they were love bombing, when they were supposedly loving, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So when they leave, our brain starts dreaming about them. Now, the unfortunate thing is with a lot of addicts, they think, oh, that's my cue to go back to crack. No, it is not. It is your brain trying to make sense of why this person, why this thing, like drugs or alcohol, was so important to you, why this thing, this person that was so important to you is now no longer there. And the brain is just going, where's my dopamine? Where's my serotonin? Wait, what? Where's the norepinephrine? Damn it, I want my high. That's what your brain is doing. And that's why you're dreaming about them, because you're trying to recreate that feeling of the serotonins, dopamines, norepinephrines, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, in your head because of the intermittent positive rewards. When they were kind to us, it was great. It was. If it was consistently bad, we would have left a hell of a long time ago. But what they do is that intermittent positive rewards. So they're good, they're good, they're good, they're horrible, they're good, they're good, they're horrible, 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 good, And so we start living for those highs when they were awesome to us, And we get addicted to it. We do. And so our brain starts going, well, where's that high? Where's the norepinephrines? Where's the endorphins? Where's the dopamines? Where's the serotonin? What? Where is it? Why isn't it here anymore? So that's why we dream about them. So the best thing you can do when you have a drug dream, and I call it a drug dream because, we all dream about the thing that we're addicted to when we leave it, So what you want to do, again, write them a letter. Write it a goodbye letter. Dear so-and-so, the good, the bad, the ugly, the horrific at the very end. Goodbye in no uncertain terms. This is what you did for me. You left me with post-traumatic stress disorder. You left me with anxiety. You left me with fear. You left me with sadness. You left me, all the rotten things that they left you with. Write it out so you remind yourself. Really important. Because the thing of it is that we have a tendency to gloss things over. Again, minimizing. And we don't remember the bad things that happen, or we don't want to remember the bad things that happen. So you've got to write out every rotten thing they ever did to you, and you put that list somewhere where you can see it so that when they do the Hoover, and they will, and sometimes the Hoovers don't come for 20 years, guys. Sometimes they come right after you've left, and other times it's when they've run out of supply, and they're older, and they're collapsing. You know how that goes. Anyway, but you keep that list so that when they do contact you, you can be like, oh, hell no. Nope. I already bought the t-shirt and the program from that play. Ain't doing it again. Have a nice day. Bye-bye. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you put that somewhere where you can see it. Okay, going on. Oh my God. How are we doing on time? Oh, geez Louise. I'm going to go a little over on this. Okay. Dissociative reactions, dissociative reactions. So checking out, I talked about that. You're gonna, lights are on, engines running, we check out because it's too much. And sometimes when we get triggered by things that remind us of this, or when we are working through the trauma with your therapist, yeah, you will dissociate. It will happen. It's normal in this very abnormal situation. That is normal. Do not make yourself wrong for dissociating. That is what we do to survive, guys. I'm going to say that again. This is what we do to survive in order to make it through that abuse, in order to make it through that trauma, is our brains just kind of go, oh, nope, nope, all kinds of nope, thank you. And we either, we can work through it and remember, or we can work through it without remembering it. You don't have to. All you need to know is that there was abuse. You don't need to know the specifics, okay? You just need to know that there was abuse, and then you can work through that. And you've got to feel safe. And you will start remembering things. And don't be afraid of that. It's just a memory. It cannot hurt you anymore. Is it painful to remember the abuse? Oh, yeah. When I think back to some of the things that my dad said to me, oh, my good God, I wouldn't say that to my worst enemy. What the hell is wrong with that man when I use the term loosely? I don't know. I do know. He was disordered, And you just gotta kind of have a little bit of sense of humor about it and be able to go, you know what, that was in the past. It cannot hurt me anymore. That person has no power over me anymore. Seriously, you have no power here. Get out. Go pound sand. Whatever you need to say. Okay. All right. Ugh. Okay. I am going over. I'm so sorry. I will get to the questions. I promise. Okay. Flashbacks. You're going to have flashbacks. And those will feel as if they are happening in the here and the now. So that's because of the amygdala. So remember, the amygdala cannot tell the difference between past, present, future. So when the amygdala gets triggered, it's all here now, here now, here now, here now. And you have to breathe, and you have to take good care of yourself. And you have to remind yourself that you're safe, that you're okay, that everything's all right. This is just a memory. It cannot hurt you. So yeah, super important. Get with a good trauma therapist. Absolutely. Okay, hang on. Oh, I need to get different contacts. I swear to God. All right. Intense or prolonged psychological distress and exposure to internal or external cues, which are triggers. Yeah. So triggers. And then we can become avoidant. So like some people, they go through a horrific relationship. They swear off dating. They swear off ever getting married again. They swear off ever having a relationship. They swear off avoidance because they're terrified, and I don't blame them. However, you want to work through that. If you're doing it from a conscious choice of, you know what, I've had the experience, I really don't want it again. Okay, that's fine. But if you're doing it out of fear, that needs to be worked on, because that's avoidance. Does that make sense? Okay, so there's that. Okay, persistent. Oh my God, I need to get different classes. Okay, mood swings, negative alterations in cognition and moods associated with traumatic events, beginning or worsening after the traumatic events, inability to remember an important aspect of the trauma. Yeah, very common with all of us. Persistent and exaggerated negative beliefs about oneself or others. So we often come out of the relationship believing that we're the problem, that we're the bad one, that we're the one that's, it's me. And it's like, no, it's them. It's like there was nothing you could have done to change the outcome of this. It was doomed from the start. So persistent, distorted cognitions about the cause or consequence of the traumatic events that leads the individual to blame him or herself. That's what we do. So this is part of PTSD, guys. Does this sound familiar to everybody? Sure as hell sounds familiar to me. Markedly diminished interest in participating in significant activities. So when we have an abuser that is suddenly damning us, for the very things that they used to praise us for, we will stop doing those things for a very, very, very long time until we get our certainty back and realize, hey, I enjoy doing this. Hey, it's okay for me to have a sense of humor. Hey, it's okay for me to succeed. Hey, it's okay for me to fill in the blank. So yeah, it's absolutely normal that we kind of stop doing everything we like. Inability to experience positive emotions. Depressed. We feel depressed. We feel detached. We feel isolated because they did isolate us. And oftentimes we feel like nobody else is going to get it, or nobody else will believe us because of the flying monkeys, whatever family issues were going on, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, hold on. Maybe I should break this up into two. I don't know. Irritable behavior, angry outbursts. Yes, a lot of us suffer from a lot of anger issues, especially if we had parents that were abusive and we were severely punished as kids. Reckless or self-destructive behaviors, that often happens. Hypervigilance. Hypervigilance is we are constantly looking for danger. Periscope is stuck in the up position and it never comes down. It's like danger, 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 danger. I tend to do that. So yeah, I always look at my surroundings. I always look to see where the nearest exit is. I'm always, especially if somebody's being belligerent or on, just acting like an abuser, gaslighting, yelling, screaming, name calling, etc. I'm always like, okay, and time to go. Bye-bye. Exaggerated startle response, problems with concentration, sleep disturbances. Oh yeah. If dealing with somebody who is abusive, yeah, you're going to have sleep disturbances because first of all, they wouldn't let us sleep. And second of all, rumination, that amygdala is going and then engages the adrenal gland and we are just ready to go at a moment's notice. Yeah, you betcha. Okay, I think that is pretty much. So in conclusion, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. CPTSD has got a whole bunch of symptoms that are normal for an abnormal situation. You're not crazy, you're not wrong, you're not anything other than coming out of abuse and dealing with all of the trauma bonding, positive rewards, intermittent positive rewards. So you're not crazy. It's like the not remembering stuff, totally normal for victims of abuse. I hate the word victim. Trauma targets, okay? Being hypervigilant, startle response, that's totally normal. Dissociating, totally normal, because we've been so abused. So my suggestion would be is get with a really good trauma therapist that gets this stuff, that is not going to poo-poo you. If they poo-poo you, you fire them. You fire them. If they're like, oh, you're not progressing fast enough or you're not blah, blah, and it's been like 3 weeks, fire them, get somebody else. The therapies that work really well with trauma, CBT, DBT, EFT, emotional freedom therapy. Emotional freedom therapy? Is that what it is? Emotional freedom therapy, yeah. That's the tapping. That's the tapping stuff. EMDR. EMDR can help as well. Remember, this is a long process, though. You're not just going to dive in there and 1 or 2 sessions later, you're going to be like, zippity-doo-dah. It'd be great if you were. That would be awesome. But it's going to take time. And it's like peeling the layers of an onion. You've got to peel back the layers. So, okay, start from the present moment, then work back if that's what works. Or some people start with the family of origin and work forward. Whichever way works, I don't care as long as we get there. That's really all I care about. So you got to start peeling the layers. Who, what, when, where, how, why. And how can I protect myself? How do I make myself bulletproof? How do I keep this from happening again? Oh, I need to fix my picker. Oh, I need to work on family of origin. Okay, I need to make sure that my inner child is safe and that it allows me to be the adult and they can be the inner child and go have fun. So that is all of that going on. And this is what makes me so angry is that people don't realize how much is going on in our heads when we come out of an abusive relationship. It's not as simple as, okay, I've left them and everything's great, or okay, I moved out of this job that was horrible with an abusive boss and everything's great. I mean, yeah, it'd be lovely if that were the case, but no, there's after effects. There is everything that we need to deal with, the trauma, the things that were said to us, the things that were done to us, the lies, the manipulation, the smear campaign, all of this, how they took who we are, twisted it, and then threw it against us at the end when they did the devalue and the discard. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so there's all of this that we need to work on, and it's heavy, it's scary, it is, but it is so worth it. You guys, listen to me now, believe me later. You do this work, you make yourself bulletproof, you fix your picker so that you're picking somebody, not your inner child. And you won't have to deal with these bozos ever again because you'll recognize them. You will be unconsciously competent because you'll be like, oh, I recognize that emotion. Nope. Or that lack of emotion. Nope. Or that abusive behavior. Nope. Do you see where I'm going with that? And you'll start picking healthier people to be in your life. So another thing that people don't necessarily tell people that they're coming out of these abusive relationships is it is scary because as you become healthier, you start weeding out the toxic people, you won't have time or tolerance for it. I certainly don't. And in the beginning, it can feel very lonely because you're suddenly getting rid of all these people that you've known for a very, 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 very long time, but you are realizing are incredibly toxic. So it's a matter of self-esteem. Okay, Self-Esteem Workbook by Glenn Schiraldi, or You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. I love both those books. Disease to Please by Harriet Breaker, or Codependent No More and Beyond Codependent No More by Melanie Beattie. Pete Walker's book, CPTSD, From Surviving to Thriving by Pete Walker. Inner Child Workbook by Catherine Taylor. These are all musts. Get with a good therapist if you can, because you're going to need that support. You're going to need somebody to validate you and go, yeah, this is normal for an abnormal situation. Yes, this is what PTSD is. Yes, this is why you're having memory loss. Yes, this is why you can't concentrate. Yes, this is why. Do you see where I'm going with that? Because we come out of it and we feel crazy. I mean, it's like the movie Gaslighting. It's like, am I crazy? It's like, no, you're not, because this is all to be expected with coming out of an abusive relationship, and especially having to work through the cognitive dissonance and really come to grips with the fact that, no, this person was abusive. They did not have your best interest at heart. Yes, they did this on purpose. No, they will never get better. That's a hard one to really wrap your head around, because we love and we want everybody to be okay. And that, God bless us, is what sets us apart from abusers. So, okay, let's dive into the questions. Alrighty then. Oh, I don't need these. Ugh, go away. All right. Do narcissists kill pets to get revenge? Oh, hell yes. OMG. If you have got a pet, my suggestion would be to get it out of there as quickly and quietly as possible, either to a rescue or to somebody who can foster it or whatever. And it depends on the state, because now again, we're dealing with courts of law. In some states, they are considered community property. In other states, they're considered personal, emotional support animals. Look at your state laws, figure out what you need to do. But if you think your narcissist is going to get revenge by killing your pet, get the hell out. Get that pet out of the situation. Yes, absolutely. They absolutely will do that. You bet. Their vindictiveness and their sadisticness, I don't even know if that's a word, but it is now, knows no bounds. Like literally knows no bounds. The Geneva Convention does not apply to these people. They don't see anything wrong with doing anything to hurt you. And in fact, that is their goal. They want to hurt you at the core, to the core. They want to terrify you to the core. They want to control you to the core. Most of us have pets. Most of us love pets. Most of us treat our pets as if they were a member of the family, because they are. And a narcissist knows that. And they are going to use that against us. So you got to get the pet out of there. And, one suggestion I had was, oops, the gate was left open, when in reality, you took it to a foster care or you took it to a rescue so that, the pet is safe, and yes, you may have to say goodbye to that pet, but it would be better to say goodbye to that pet knowing that pet is taken care of, as opposed to they kill it, and sometimes they do it so that the kids find the pet because they're mother cluckers. Yeah, is the nicest thing I can say. And from there, it really goes into a bunch of 4-letter words. So, all right, yeah, they do that. Okay, where's my cursor here? Is it boundary crossing when somebody wants to tell you what you feel or what you have? Yeah, when somebody walks up and says, okay, so the classic example of that is a narcissistic parent, usually a narcissistic mother, who's grocery shopping with the kids, or a narcissistic father. They do this too. Hold on. Grocery shopping with the kids, and the kid says, mommy, mommy, daddy, daddy, I want whatever it is they see, right? Because you know how kids are in the grocery store. They're like, oh, but I want this toy, or I want this candy bar, or I want whatever. Well, instead of giving them the correct answer, which would be, I know you want it right now. However, we are not going to get it right now. So no, the answer is no, right? So plain, simple, clear communication. I do this with my great nieces all the time. It's like, no, we are not going to get that right now. We'll talk about it when we get home. Perhaps we will get it at a later date, but we'll need to talk about it. So that's clear. That's, and the kid could continue, but usually they don't. When you give them a straight answer, they usually kind of go, oh, well, it's not the answer I want, but okay. What I see narcissistic parents do, though, is you don't want that. You don't feel that. You don't want that. This is the same thing as when the child is crying and the parent walks up to them and slaps them and says, I'll give you something to cry about, as if what they were crying about was not real. So yeah, total boundary crossing to be like, oh, you're feeling this, you're feeling that, you know, or you want this, you want that, you don't want this, you don't want that. No, that's all them. That's projection. That is projection. So yeah, that is boundary crossing. How do we try to replace the highs that we got from the narc? Self-esteem mirror work. Hi, good to see you. Have a great day. I give you permission to like yourself. Look at you. You look fabulous. Oh my goodness. Have a fabulous day. And then walk out. You start giving yourself those positive affirmations. You start reminding yourself that you're worthy of that. And you don't need it from somebody else. You just need it from you. So again, people are like, oh my God, I can't say nice things to myself. That's not okay. According to who? According to the narcissist? No, thank you. You know what I'm saying? You have the right to like yourself. That's how humans, healthy humans, get through life, is by actually liking themselves. We come into this world alone. We go out of this world alone. And in the meantime, we are with ourselves 100% of the time. Wouldn't it be nice if we liked ourselves this whole time? Hello? Do that. Work on that. Work on loving yourself. That is the best way that you can get the highs that you miss from the narcissist, because you're never going to find them with another person, guys. It doesn't remain outside of you. Self-esteem is inside of you. It's just that little voice going, I love you. Keep going. I like it. Yeah, you're great. Keep going. You know, nice, kind, gentle cheerleader, not the internal critic. The internal critic is the abuser's voice. The internal critic is the one that goes, not good enough, not good enough, not good enough, not good enough. Why'd you say that? Why'd you do that? Oh my God, what if, what if, what if? Thank you for your input. Shut the bleep up. Why? Because you say so. You're the boss of this. This is not the boss of you. I am good enough, and I am not going to live in a future that has not happened yet. Why? Because I say so. I'm the boss. You got to get tough with it. You do. You got to get tough with it. Okay, after decades with my narc that always rubbed mistakes in my face, I have intrusive memories of mistakes and embarrassments. Oh my God, they all do this. This is another one of those out of the handbook things. Seriously, you're not wrong. What do you do to get over that talk? Talk back to them and write and burn letters? Yes. Yes, 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 yes. So you do the mirror work. You know what? It's like, I'm going to make mistakes. You know what? So what? As long as I learn from them, who cares? Seriously. Narcissists, alcoholics demand perfection. They do. Everybody has to be perfect. Everybody has to be perfect. You have to do that perfectly. How dare you make a mistake? I'm perfect. My doo-doo doesn't stink. That is literally how they think. And they will rub the nose in anyone's, rub the kid's face in nose in the dirt when they've done something wrong, when in fact the abuser does things wrong on a daily damn basis. And if you call them out on it, what do? They punish you. So yeah, so what you have to do is you have to remind yourself, you are human. You do not walk on water unless it is frozen. And guess what? Making mistakes is how we learn. How does a baby learn how to walk? It falls a lot, occasionally hitting its head. Oh my God, I don't miss those days. Anyway, so but you can't be a helicopter parent. You got to allow them to make the mistake. Okay, great, get back up. Okay, you got it. You got your balance. Good, go. Because if you never let that kid make a mistake, they're never going to learn. Or they're going to sit there and beat themselves up. And I used to do that all the time. My dad was horrible about that. So yeah, I used to beat myself up all the time. So what I started doing was mirror work, self-esteem work, and putting it back on the abuser. Pete Walker, CPTSD, From Surviving to Thriving, I think it's chapter 3, where he talks about putting the shame, and that's shaming, by the way, shame, blame, guilt, back onto the abuser, because that's where it belongs. This ain't yours. This is not your luggage. Put it back on the carousel. It ain't yours. So yeah, absolutely. Okay, how do I help myself as a minor currently who doesn't have access to a therapist who specializes in CPTSD or narcissistic abuse? I'm 17. Oh boy, and live with my mom, and I don't have a job. Oh, if you are in school, try to get with the counselor there, although I don't know legally how much they can do. Shoot. You could try to talk to a social worker. If you're 17, you're getting close. You could ask for emancipation. So emancipation is where you go to the judge, and you would need a job though, because you would have to prove that you can support yourself. Damn it. Okay, get books. Get books. Get the books I recommend. Get the books I recommend. And then the second you turn 18, there's not a damn thing they can do about it. Go get help. Yeah. But get the books, but you're going to have to hide the books. So I would suggest getting them on Kindle or on your phone so that, they don't realize that you're actually helping yourself. So yeah, that's one thing you can do. You can get the books and you can start helping yourself. So, and then as soon as you turn 18, get a job. Yeah. And go get help. Okay. What makes this so universal? Is it just evil? I can't believe that Chris does not know us and she is naming all sorts of things I've experienced. Oy. Now there's a question. So what makes it universal? Well, there are some schools of thought on this. Is it a spiritual issue? I think so. I do, because what they do is evil. But that's a religious topic. And I'm not a religious expert. I'm a, psychology type of person. So what makes it universal? It is a disorder, and there are identifiable behaviors that they do. So that makes it a disorder. It's like it's in every single case. So they do the same things. They absolutely do the same things. And it all progresses in the same way that any disease would or any disorder would. So, but is there a spiritual aspect to it? I think there is. Absolutely. You cannot have that level of sadism and that level of disregard for someone's well-being and not be spiritually damaged. Does that make sense? Were there too many negatives in there? There might have been too many negatives in there. But anyway, that's, yeah. And it's the same no matter where you are in the world. No matter where you are in the world, no matter what your culture is, no matter what your language is, it's all the same progression. So yeah, it is kind of trippy and freaky and everything. How do I accept the abuse for what it was? I'm 8 years free and I'm still struggling to accept the severity of it. I tend to minimize. That's the problem. By saying others have it much worse. Stop, guys, stop. Perception is everything. So what? Somebody else had it worse. You had it bad, obviously. You know what I'm saying? It's like, don't minimize it, acknowledge it. So write it out. Write it out. Dear universe, or dear abuser, or whatever, the good, the bad, the ugly, the horrific. And at the very, very end, you say everything you ever wanted to say to them, but do not send it. Listen to me now, believe me later. Do not send this. This letter is just for you. It's not going to do any good to send it to them. And all it's going to do is give them ammunition to treat you like crap. So what you're going to do is you're going to write it out, say everything you need to say to them, and you're going to trot it out to the barbecue and you're going to burn it and let it go. It is what it is. And 8 years, you need to be over this now because that's way too long to be ruminating. So 3 years, yes, I can understand. 4 years, maybe. 8 years, get with a good trauma therapist. What are you not holding? What are you not letting go of? And here's something else. I noticed, and thank God for my therapist that pointed this out to me, these many years ago. I was so angry at my dad. So angry at my dad. I was angry all the damn time. Like literally all the time. Like if I was happy, this is Chris happy. This is Chris sad. This is Chris relaxing. I was just angry. My therapist was finally like, why are you so still angry at your dad? I wonder, and she posed this question, I wonder if you're doing this to try to keep him alive, because he'd been dead at this point, to try to keep him alive so that you can fix him. And at that point, I burst into tears. Because that was the truth. I was angry at him that he had died. I was angry at him that he died unconscious. And I don't mean unconscious as in physically unconscious. I mean like lights are on, engines running, nobody's home. I was angry that I couldn't fix him. I was angry that I couldn't save him, and keeping him in my mind and angry at him was a way that I could keep him close so that I could try to figure out how to fix him. Mind blown at that point. And, I just was like in tears, sobbing. And she's like, I think we found the root. And I was like, yes, we did. So yeah. And from that point on, it was kind of like, okay, where's this anger coming? Oh, I'm sad. Oh, I'm hurt. Because remember, when I was growing up, that was not safe. The softer emotions are not safe with an abuser. You cannot be vulnerable. You cannot be sad. You cannot be anything other than what the abuser wants, or they will go for the jugular. And my dad did. So yeah, so you want to take a look at, it was what it was. So there's a great book. Oh, there's so many great books. Colin Tipping, God love him. I wish he was still alive. Colin Tipping has a series of books on forgiveness. So there is Radical Forgiveness, Radical Self-Forgiveness by Colin Tipping. There's also Tara Brach's Radical Acceptance. It is what it is. It's in the past. Can you do anything about it? Nope. What can you do now? Well, you can live your best life. And honestly, you really want to give the middle finger to these mother cluckers? What you want to do is you want to live so well. The best revenge is to live well and to leave them in the dirt. They want to live in your head rent-free. Evict them. They have no business living in your head. It's kind of like, you have no power here, Satan. Get out. Leave, that kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of the same thing. It's like, nope, you don't get to live in my head rent free. You did this to me, 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 and then you say exactly what you think they are and everything you need to say to them. Trot it out to the barbecue, read it out loud once, and just evict them. I evict you. I send you to the universe. I send you to God. I send you to whatever. But you are not allowed to stay here. You have no power here. And then every time they pop up in your head, you're going to do thought stopping. So boom, they pop up in your head. Oh, isn't that interesting? Coming to visit, are we? Well, I hear you and I see you, and I am not inviting you in for coffee, nor am I going to resist you, because when we resist a thought, that's all we think about. Thought, I don't want to think about that thought. I'm not thinking about that thought. I'm not thinking about that. What am I thinking about the whole time? That thought. So you don't want to resist it. You also do not want to invite it in for coffee because it will stay for lunch. You're just going to go, I hear you, I see you, and I am not playing. Bye-bye, right when you get work. Bye-bye, bye-bye now, bye-bye, bye-bye. And you're going to have to do that multiple times a day. So stop giving them the power. You're the one now that's giving your power away. Stop it. You need your power. You need to go live your best life. You need to go just be awesomely happy. That's what you want. Okay, let's see if there's any other questions. Okay, how do you help a sibling who has adopted the abuser's behavior? Okay, so there's two possibilities of what's going on. And of course, I don't have them in front of me, so I don't know. But when somebody adopts abusive behaviors, there's two possibilities. One, they are an abuser, and oh my God, run, do not walk to the nearest exit. Or they have picked up a bunch of fleas, bad behaviors from the abuser, and they're not quite conscious that they're doing it. So if it is the fleas, there is a possibility of helping them. If it is they are an abuser, they will not work on themselves. So what you could say is like, this behavior, did you like it when mom and dad did it? Because this kind of reminds me of mom and dad. Now, when you point out to somebody that they're behaving like an abuser, they are probably going to get very pissed off at you, because the truth will set you free right after it pisses you off. But then if they're really willing to work on it, they'll be curious and want to investigate and figure out how to stop that behavior, because it does not help them. So yeah, so there's that. All right, kids, that is it for today. Next week, I want to talk about gaslighting. I want to talk about gaslighting. I want to talk about manipulation. I want to talk about love bombing. I want to talk about all the things that abusers do to create that cognitive dissonance, to create that fear, obligation, guilt. Remember, if you are feeling fear, obligation, or guilt in a relationship, it is toxic, like nobody's business. So I want to talk about gaslighting. I want to talk about the fear, obligation, guilt. I want to talk about the love bombing. We need to talk about the lying, the pathological lying, all of that sort of stuff, and what to watch out for. And as soon as you hear it, you run. Yep. Okay. All right, kids, that's it. Have a great week, and I will talk to you. Where the heck is my cursor? There it is. All right. I will talk to you later. Bye.